started with the assumption that a change in a system can occur when there is a big shock, and the shock often can make it able for the people to change their behavior.
After we introduced the disaster 1 year, we discovered that wood, after a short increase, was dramatically decreasing to zero.
There are two plausible reasons. One is that it is just some chosen parameter. The other is some sort of a tipping point.
We had a natural disaster / war, because it's the same in the model. It wiped out half of the durable goods in the world and half of the population. For the period of the war and maybe a generation after, it staved off some of the tensions that we had been looking at. This war did not change, of course, any of the underlying dynamics. So as soon as the war ends, we go back to business as usual.
So we try to pick extreme scenarios for these variables, saying, okay, we use that one-child policy scenario and reduce the military basically to zero.
We did just about everything else that we could possibly think of. We invested in hydroelectric power. We replanted trees. What we found was that it took so much time that we would have had to have started all of these things many years before the simulation actually started in order for it to work in a sustainable way.
Unsurprisingly, vegetarianism really helps solving the crop problem. But there was this intermittent 80-year period of severe food shortages. So it really calls into question the feasibility of that policy. Energy efficiency research did a really good job in solving the energy problem. It was disproportionately effective, really.
But of course, the solution led us to a labor excess. So what do we do with all these basically unemployed people? We thought of this world in which by 2100 we would get back to the levels of durable consumption of 1940s.
We reduced very much their fertility, not necessarily by politics or maybe by cultural change.
The only solution that we could find was having a war for 25 years and killing like a 75% of population, unfortunately. And we got like a beautiful line that like a no tension.
Took very unrealistic world solutions like we decided to kill off most of the population to mimic the reintroduction of an apex predator into an ecosystem and create a trophic cascade that would put it back in balance, like reintroduction of wolves into Yosemite, for example. And that worked beautifully. Unfortunately, we know the policy applications for that are limited.